given that we have, 75 plus local brewers, you could strictly purchase locally made beer and still have a different type of beer to try every single day. Everything innovative, everything delicious that's happening, someone's doing it here and they're doing it really well.
If you grew up in St. Louis, there are two things, right? You are a baseball fan and it's a beer city, right? It's Busch Stadium and Cardinal baseball, and the world's largest brewery is a mile that way. And it's really kind of trained the palate of St. Louis.
It's in our history. AB was here from the beginning and really, I think, kind of created this industry where people are thirsty. Everybody loves beer here in St. Louis.
What most excites me about St. Louis's beer scene is how it really functions as one of these cultural pillars of our city. And it always has. I mean, our city was basically founded by German immigrants who came and opened up breweries. We were one of the first cities to brew a lager in North America. Pasteurization in refrigerated rail cars started here with Anheuser-Busch back pre-Prohibition. That industry and the community that's built around it has been such a huge part of who we are, and it continues to be that.
St. Louis has got to be one of the most competitive beer cities in America. I mean, if you think about how many breweries per capita, we had a big wave of smaller breweries open up. We're seeing a second wave of that happening now, so it's really competitive.
Second Shift had opened up in pretty much 2010. Then Perennial and Civil Life opened up on the same day, Urban Chestnut, and then us. I think that was probably the most disruptive the market has seen ever.
And here we are today with almost 75 breweries within 100 miles. The brewing scene is doing fantastic.
The development of these breweries are helping the economy here locally. I actually did a panel about a year or so back with a bunch of developers and real estate investors, and what they were essentially talking about is building communities around breweries.
I'd like to believe that bringing any sort of business to Millstadt or to any community like this is definitely going to help it out, and they're going to see a definite economic impact.
So we had no real intention of starting a brewery when we moved over here. We were both looking at St. Louis as a bit of a landing pad and then looking for jobs elsewhere. But looking at St. Louis, I think we just fell in love with it. It's such a unique city. I think for the first 18 months, I would literally brew, I would go out and sell the beer, I would jump in the van and go deliver the beer, go home, shower, then come back and run the tap room at night. But about a year and a bit ago, we were approached by Major Brands, which is the largest distributor in Missouri. And we signed with them and they carry us, and our production just swelled.
I think the city of St. Louis is a really great place to be an entrepreneur and to take chances. The institutional knowledge that our city has, both from all of the present brewers, but this massive, massive history of brewing in our city means we are one of the best places you can possibly go to learn about the brewing industry. And my organization has partnered up with St. Louis University on a new brewing program, which is it brings all the local breweries together. So this program in the curriculum was designed by people who work at these local breweries. It's completely unique in the country to have an entire local brewing scene partner together on something like this.
I'm really hoping in a year or two from now that we see some graduates from the program that have finished the program that are looking for opportunities on the professional side of beer, whether it be brewing or whether it be in a lab setting or even like marketing and sales, ownership. Any of those, we're hoping that this program is going to give them an amazing foundational base of anything, all along the spectrum of brewing, but also in the operations side as well.
I love the amount of energy and effort that these people put into the craft that they do. And I love to see places open up, It's getting to the point now to where you almost got a brewery in every neighborhood, it seems like. I think that's really cool because it gives the people in their neighborhood the actual place that was like, no, man, Perennial is like my spot. It's right down the street from my house.
Craft breweries are like the ultimate little community biosphere. You know, we hire locally, local people spend their money here, we pay local people that are working in our place. It's a perfect little business to keep money in an economy. It's really quite unique in that way.
I think you're going to continue to see homebrewers getting into the industry. One, because so many of us already in business are needing more people to come on to staff as we try to grow.
You know, one of the things that we're seeing through beer right now is you have to stay extremely innovative. It doesn't have to be crazy, it just has to be thoughtful and new.
Innovation is so important when it comes to craft beer. We are always trying to make sure that we're catering to, you know, whatever is next. So for example, health and wellness and low alcohol or non-alcohol is all a huge trend right now. But already you're seeing, you know, craft cocktails be a huge thing. And hard seltzers, you're gonna see a lot of us start doing hard seltzers.
So one year-round gin, 17 months ago. Now we have a year-round gin, seasonal gin, barrel-aged gin, an Amaro, an aperitif, a line of canned cocktails. We want to try and propel St. Louis as a city. We have great pride in our city. We're in the middle of the country. It is affordable. It is super polite. You look out for each other.
There's this whole nother reaction I have now when I have a beer that I love, and it is really emotional. Like, I get so excited, and the first thing I want to do is like go tell the brewer, like, this beer is amazing. And the next thing I do is I'm like, how can I make a beer this good? And I am immediately inspired.
To be able to create a product consistently of quality, the craftsmanship that goes into that is often overlooked.
We pick things up and we smell things and we buy things and we bring them back and we just experiment with different flavors.
I love that I know the people who made this, that my neighbors made this. I love knowing that when I spend money on beer, that it is going directly back into my community in so many different ways. Because again, it's not just about the beer they're making, it's about the lives they're touching, the economic impact they're having, the communities that they are driving and anchoring. And at the end of the day, if you can help your community by drinking a beer, I mean, that's pretty awesome. Like, I'd say that's about as good as it can get.